You know, it's a question we've all asked ourselves, probably with a little bit of frustration, right? Why on earth do we have to pay taxes? Well, today we're going to dive in and break down the answer. And honestly, it might just change the way you look at your paycheck.
It all kicks off with a feeling I am sure you know very well. Let's call it the paycheck sting. You know, that exact moment you see the deduction and just feel your hard-earned money kind of shrink.
And that's the moment, isn't it? That's when the big question pops into your head. Why can't I just keep 100% of what I made? But what's really interesting is that it's not just us. Every single country, from the richest to the poorest, has a system for this. So let's figure out why.
Okay, so picture this with me. It's payday. That beautiful notification you've been waiting for finally hits your phone. You feel that little wave of relief and excitement wash over you.
So you tap to open your banking app. Maybe you're already making plans in your head for what you're going to do with that fresh new deposit. And then, bam, you see it. Your total earnings are right there, but just below it, a pretty big chunk is just gone, labeled income tax. That sinking feeling is universal for sure. So where does that money actually end up?
Well, at its most basic level, a tax isn't some kind of penalty or a fine. The best way to think about it is right here. It's a mandatory shared contribution. It's basically a giant pool of money that all of us put something into, and the government manages it for the good of everyone. Okay, so we're all chipping into this giant pool. But what exactly are we buying with it? The simplest way to wrap your head around it is this. It's the operating fee for living in a modern, organized society.
Let's try an analogy, because this really helps make it click. Imagine our entire country is like one massive, really nice apartment building. Every single one of us lives there, and we all get to use the perks.
Now, in a building like that, everybody pays a management fee, right? And that fee covers all the stuff you couldn't possibly pay for on your own, like keeping the lights on in the hallways, having 24/7 security, making sure the elevators work, and keeping the pool clean. No way could one person afford all that. So now let's just scale that whole idea up to the country level. Your tax money? That is the management fee. It's paying for the huge things no single person could ever build, like highways, bridges, and the power grid. And just like that security guard at the front desk, it's what pays for our police to keep us safe and our military to protect our borders. But here's the thing, paying for all that stuff is really only half the story. Taxes also play a much deeper, more complicated role. They're actually a super powerful tool for shaping and regulating society itself. One of its biggest jobs is to create what we call a social safety net. And the idea behind it is actually pretty simple and, well, pretty decent. In a society that's doing well, we should make sure that if someone has bad luck, it doesn't lead to complete disaster for them.
So this safety net, which we all fund with our taxes, is what gives us things like public schools, so every kid has a shot at an education, and public hospitals, so everyone can get medical care. It helps support the vulnerable, and it's designed to shrink the gap between the rich and poor. Basically, to provide a baseline of support for everybody.
And it gets even more interesting. Beyond that safety net, think of taxes as a giant steering wheel for the whole economy and even for our behavior. A government can literally steer the country in a certain direction just by making some things more expensive and other things cheaper.
And here's exactly how that steering works in the real world. If a government wants to discourage something, like smoking or drinking too much, they slap a high tax on it to make it more expensive. On the flip side, if they want to encourage something good, like clean energy or new technology, they'll give it a lower tax or even a tax break. It's not just about collecting cash, it's about actively shaping our future.
Okay, so when you put all of this together, the public services, that safety net, the societal steering wheel, it really pushes us to look at taxes from a totally new angle.
So instead of seeing that number on your paycheck as money that's just lost, what if we completely change our mindset? What if we started seeing it as money we've invested?
An investment in what, you ask? Well, we're investing in safety, knowing that if there's an emergency, someone will come to help. We're investing in convenience, being able to drive on well-kept roads. And really, at the end of the day, we're all collectively investing in the long-term health and growth of the very community we all live in. And you know, this isn't some brand new idea. Over 100 years ago, a U.S. Supreme Court justice named Oliver Wendell Holmes put it perfectly. He said, "Taxes are the price we pay for a civilized society." And that's really it, isn't it? All this stuff we benefit from, it has the price tag. And taxes are just how we all chip in our fair share to cover it.
So the next time you get that paycheck notification and you see that deduction, maybe that little sting won't be there. Maybe you'll see it for what it really is. Your share, your contribution, your investment in the civilized world all around you. So the real question is, how do you choose to see it?